Yes, thanks, Rahul. Well, let's get a little bit more analysis on the impact of these results with Tim Bale, Professor of Politics at Queen Mary University here in London. Great to see you again. Welcome back to the programme. So, taking a step back, Tim, for our international audience, overall, how bad is this for the Conservative Party? And then, more specifically, what are the most interesting and significant results that you're looking at? Is it the number of council seats? Is it these big mayoral elections like in York? Or is it that parliamentary by-election that Labour won by a big swing?
Well, I think your correspondent is right to say that it was a very, very bad night for the Conservatives. I think Labour will be reasonably pleased with how things went. The number crunchers are now projecting the national share of the vote that these results indicate, and it's not suggesting that Labour is quite as far ahead of the Conservatives as some of the opinion polls have them. So the Labour lead would appear to be around 9% overall, which is certainly probably good enough to win them a general election victory, particularly because, and this answers your second question, they seem to be winning council seats in parliamentary constituencies that they need to flip from the Conservatives come the general election. So across the country, across England anyway, Labour appear to be doing particularly well in those places they need to be doing well in, and the Conservatives seem to be doing particularly badly in the places that they will need to defend. So overall, I think a reasonably good night for Labour, but a terrible night for the Conservatives.
Do you think that Rishi Sunak can survive then as the party leader and therefore as Prime Minister?
I think, to be honest, if you look at what's coming out of Conservative circles, and particularly those Conservative circles that earlier hoped that they might be able to ditch Rishi Sunak on the back of these results, they seem to have given up the ghost. I think many of them hope that these results would be bad, but at the moment they're not quite as bad as they perhaps needed to be to panic Conservative MPs into taking precipitate action. That doesn't necessarily mean he's out of the woods completely, but I think most Conservative MPs now regard replacing him as probably the worst alternative. And in part that's because I don't think they can see anybody on the Conservative benches who would necessarily be able to come in and rescue the party from the nosedive that it seems to be in right now.
All right, and looking into your crystal ball, what's your best guess for an election? Autumn, or could we have one as soon as tomorrow, or Christmas? What do you think?
Well, I mean, a lot of people are talking about Rishi Sunak suddenly going in the summer, getting some flights off to Rwanda and then calling an election. I think when you are so far behind in the opinion polls and when you've had a night of election results as bad as this, I suspect that you will want to hang on as long as possible. So that means the autumn, and then it's a question of whether he goes in October, before the US presidential election, or just after. And on that, your guess is as good as mine.
OK. Tim Bale, thanks very much indeed. That's Professor Tim Bale from Queen Mary University. Thanks.